been a while since I've live streamed. Previous board is not in favor of it. It seems that this new board is looking forward to change. Hoping we have a good meeting. This is a planning board meeting, the first of the year. Parking lot's decently full.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, no problem. Good, how are you? Looks like they're starting already.
Welcome to the Town of Lagrange Planning Board meeting, January 15th, 2026. Our next submission deadline, January 29th, 2026 by noon. I'll say that one more time. Our next submission deadline is January 29th, 2026 by noon. Our next regular meeting is February 19th, 2026. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the previous minutes, anyone have any corrections or comments? No. Motion to accept the minutes? Motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. First item on our agenda is public hearings. The first one will be 35 Eagles View Lane site plan and special use permit. Application to add ground mounted solar array to an existing structure located at 35 Eagles View Lane in the residential flexible density RLD zoning district, 7.9 acres, grid number 6560-01-300736. Owner Raghuram Gorti, licensed professional, Greenpoint Solar and Electrical. Hello.
Good evening.
If you could give a small review of the project.
So I'm Jeffrey Smile with Greenpoint Solar and Electrical. We're proposing to install a 12.6 kilowatt ground-mounted solar array. It's consisting of 28 solar panels. It's in addition to an existing solar array that is already on site. It will not necessitate any removal of trees or any major ground disturbance, and is not visible from the street or from any surrounding residences.
Very good. Okay, before I open the public hearing, we're going to read some ground rules. All members of the public wishing to speak will have the opportunity to do so. Each speaker, if you want, you can sit down and then we'll call you back up. Each speaker must come to the microphone, and we ask that you state your name and address for the record. All public comments and questions shall be directed to the board, not to the applicant. There will be no dialogue or back and forth between members of the public and the applicant. The applicant will need to respond to comments in writing to the satisfaction of the planning board. Comments and questions shall be respectful, on topic, and to the point. If a comment has already been stated, it will need to be addressed by the applicant. There is no need to repeat previous comments. All letters and emails submitted have been or will be shared with the planning board and be part of the official record. Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is open. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on the 35 Eagles View Lane site plan and special use permit? I'll ask one more time, is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on the 35 Eagles View Lane site plan and special use permit? Motion to close.
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Okay, you can come back up. So on this one, the submission was late, right?
Yes, so we didn't have a chance to review the full submission. We did have communications with the applicant after the last meeting and did get their FAF fully revised. They did make a submission to the Historic Preservation Office and I believe have received a letter of no impact, which was part of their submission. So I'm not recommending any actions be taken tonight. However, I think for next month, we could be prepared to close out secret and potentially issue a conditional approval unless the board had any concerns or comments.
Any comments?
No.
Okay,
See you next month.
very good. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Arthur'sburg Road subdivision. Application for a 3-lot subdivision of a 14.9 acre property located at Arthur'sburg Road in the residential flexible density RFD zoning district, grid number 6459-02-990614. Owner Dana Duncan Van Steenberg, licensed professional, Rainey Engineering. Hello.
Good evening, board. I am Daniel Domignani, the applicant's engineer. Not here right now, so. Oh, he just walked in.
Very good.
Hello. Sorry I'm tardy.
That's okay.
How's everyone doing tonight?
At the end of the meeting, right?
Yeah, I know. Typically. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good. If you could just give a little review of the project.
Yeah, so what we have here is a 3-lot subdivision of an existing 14-acre piece of land.
You got it. Thank you.
Okay, cool. The 3 lots are all conforming, so there's no variances required. As you can see here from the drawings, we have 3 house sites with septic. The last outstanding item that we had was the location of the DEC wetland, which is located on the western side of the project site. So what we were trying to do last time we were here is confirm that location of the wetland. So we actually did meet out with DEC, and I provided a letter from them, which they essentially stated that all the wetland flags that were previously flagged are acceptable, with the exception of one, which I highlighted.
I don't think this was the one that you had highlighted.
No. Hold on. Here. I believe it was wetland flag 14, but it's in this exhibit that we provided. Right here. So essentially, we were actually able to locate all the flags that were previously delineated 5 years ago. And then, so wetland flag 14, which is right here. Right? This one right here. Everyone see that right? Yeah, so essentially it moved about 25 feet to the right or east of the site. And in the exhibit, I showed how that affects the 100-foot buffer area. Ultimately, it still does not conflict with any of our grading. So ultimately, I would believe that's a moot issue at this point. The next item that we are really looking to get feedback from the board on was the requirement of landscaping along the Deconic Parkway. So as you'll remember, OPRHP recommended that we provided plantings, and the board was going to go out there and take a look, see if that was necessary. So I've been holding off on doing edits for John Andrews' comment letter until we've had your feedback, so I could do it all in one go. So with that, happy to answer any questions and get some feedback.
All right, so first thing, the motion to adopt the FEA of part 3.
Yes, so that has been prepared, it is in front of you, printed out if you haven't had a chance to look it over yet. That specifically doesn't really say much because the information is contained in the negative declaration of impact, which would be your next consideration.
All right, so we'll do a motion to adopt the FEA part 3.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, then the negative deck. Look that over. Any comments? Motion to adopt the negative declaration.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now, we'll open the if you wanna take a seat.
Yes, sir.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So I'm gonna open the public hearing, same ground rules apply to all the public hearings tonight. Anyone here from the public who would like to comment on the Arthur'sburg Road subdivision? Sure, come on up.
Hello, board. My name is Jen Miratello. I live across the street from this, 74 Arthur'sburg. Once the sign went up, it was the first I was aware of it. So I'm just trying to get my sight as to where the driveway is with respect to my house, which is right across the street, and my neighbors as well. So can you point to
Sure.
can you point to where my house is and my neighbors? That's what I'm just trying to see.
Yep, if you wanna look at that screen behind you, she's moving the mouse around.
Okay.
I'm not
Megan.
sure that it shows your house or driveway location, let me check and see if there's a difference.
Okay.
I can kind of outline it
Okay.
for you if you want.
That would be great.
Yeah, so if you look here,
You can use the mouse. if
oh,
you
yeah.
want. Yeah,
that's always easier. So if you look here, this is the house that has that 2 driveways that donut with the house in the
Oh,
back.
yes, yep.
And you see right in here,
Yep.
that's where that little drainage course is across the street.
Okay.
So I believe if your house is the one with the pond,
It's not,
okay, you're over here.
correct.
Yeah, okay, so the pond is here, and you would be way over here.
Okay, so the driveway would sort of hug that
Yes,
dual driveway house.
exactly,
Okay.
yep, so it's kind of driveway entrance, and then that's
Okay.
what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
So it's
very
about
good.
40 feet to
So you have
the
your sight
west.
distance.
Yep.
Okay, very good. And then I just had one more question,
sure.
which is, I know he said that, like we didn't need any variances. I know when I had explored subdividing my property, which is like 16.8 acres, I was told it was a 5-acre lot minimum. But I know it's 3 lots on 14.9, so if somebody could just explain that to me. Maybe it's already happened, because I'm a little late on the take here, but I was just curious.
Okay.
Do I sit down and take it, or wait here?
He's gonna answer in writing to that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Can we answer that one
I'm
quick?
looking right now.
Okay.
I think it's 3.9 acres, I believe.
Oh,
If
so
it's
it's
the
been
same as my
adjusted?
zoning,
Okay.
right?
I believe it was changed, the board changed it to 3.
It's in feet. I think it works out to like
Minimum lot area is
3.9
8,000
acres.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe
Okay.
the RFD is 80,000 square feet, so it's about
Okay.
2 acres.
Oh, okay.
And that's so if you don't have a common water or septic system, which we
Okay.
don't, everything's private,
Yes,
then it's going to be the 2 acres.
okay,
So if you're in there, then it's definitely,
okay,
You
so
got
that's been
acres.
changed,
Yeah.
okay.
I just looked up the zoning map, she's also an RFD.
Okay, so it's 80,000 square feet, which is roughly 2
yeah,
acres?
it's a roughly 2 acres.
Okay,
A little shy,
of 2 acres.
like
Okay.
1.9.
okay, very good,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
You want to subdivide?
Thank you.
Thanks
Doing,
a lot.
doing some sales.
It's the game.
Yeah. Anyone else for a public comment on the Arthur'sburg Road subdivision? I'll ask one more time. Anyone else from the public want to comment on Arthur'sburg Road subdivision? Motion to close.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Okay, let's see here.
So, Randy, the board did attend a site visit since the last meeting, correct? Did you want
Yes.
to discuss your findings?
Sure,
Yeah, Randy and I went out there.
yes, it was pouring rain.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
wet out there.
It was really wet.
Yeah, so, the day we went out there, we went to the back of the property, there was a northbound accident on the Taconic, so we could clearly see where the Taconic was. And it's so heavily wooded, I don't believe the SHPO comment is a concern,
Okay.
so.
That's what I kind of figured. It was
In
pretty
my
dense back there.
opinion, if you were to add more trees to it, you'd have to cut down what's there,
Mhm.
because nothing's gonna grow. It's pretty heavily wooded.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of figured when I was looking at the aerials and getting out there. I was like, this is thick. It's not so much like what's going on in the northern area, so.
Yeah, you'd have to remove what's there to add anything,
Mhm.
try to be counterproductive.
And there's no foliage this time, so it's
Yeah.
the worst case.
Right, exactly, it wouldn't, and even then, it was pretty thick.
Yeah, it's dense. It's brambly back there, so it really does obscure the view pretty well.
And then we're gonna talk about leaving that 20-foot wide,
Conservation.
yeah. You wanna explain it to them?
Yeah, well, what we looked at here, and since they're not going to add any vegetation, doesn't make sense. It also doesn't make sense, since it is pretty heavily wooded, not to subtract vegetation. So what we'd like to do, what we'd asked, and I think you had committed to, is using that rear yard setback to 20 feet and making it a conservation area, no cut area. And putting that on the plat accordingly, and that addresses OPA RHP's concern. We got a nice 20-foot buffer along the parkway, and everybody wins, and it keeps the vegetation in place, so.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't think we'd take any objection to that.
Very good.
So for comments on my end, there wasn't a full resubmission submitted as Peter's already stated. But just some comments to keep in mind. There was discussion last meeting as to whether or not a berm is going to be proposed. So if there is, please make sure that that's shown on the plan with your next submission. I think beyond that, the remainder of my comments are pretty straightforward and minor.
Roy was
Didn't we suggest not to do the berm?
Yeah, we didn't understand the specifics of it, so the answer was, until we did, we didn't think it was necessary. Unless they needed it for noise reduction, because it wasn't gonna be, and after you made your site visit, I don't think it's gonna, they'd have to clear the building.
Right.
Mhm.
So do you wanna do the berm or not?
We do not want to do the berm.
Okay.
So should he,
Revise his plans accordingly.
okay,
Um,
yeah, revised accordingly?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, and I did not have comments because they did not make a resubmission. What they did do, and I just want to make sure that everybody got it in the record, the only reason we're having the public hearing is Mr. Sander committed to getting the DEC, which I'm surprised he did, to commit in writing to where the boundaries were by a specific date and time. And I'm pleased to report he did meet the time frame, and it was the specific date. And he did get DEC to issue a preliminary letter with a sketch. So that's why we held the public hearing tonight. And the original discussion was the wetland boundary. That minor change has no impact. So I think we're good.
okay.
So outstanding items would be the conservation easement, and the still waiting on DOH approval as well. I believe that's it from my end.
Yeah, I think that's it. You address my comments, and the biggest thing here is the OH approval.
Okay.
If you can get that, we can work our way towards a resolution of approval.
Perfect. Awesome.
Any other questions?
Not for me.
Okay, very good.
Cool. Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate it. I'm glad we got to see you today.
Yeah. Next item on our agenda is Billingsbrook LLC Site Plan Special Use Permit Subdivision Wetlands Permit Application to subdivide the property into 2 lots, one of which will contain the existing residential uses at the site, and 1 lot to contain 2 2-unit dwellings for a total of 4 new units located at 2377-2391 Route 82 in the Hamlet H zoning district, containing 5.1 acres, grid number 6561 04-758104. Owner Billings Brook LLC, Todd Lund, licensed professional Cobol engineering. Hello. Yeah, if you want to give a.
Sure. So we're here tonight, as you had mentioned, for a 5.18 acre parcel, which is on the north side of Route 82, opposite the Lagrange firehouse, which is just east of Route 55 and 82 intersection. We're here tonight proposing a two-lot subdivision where lot 1 we'd be containing the existing structures. There's a house, a single-family house, and 2 other smaller dwellings that are rented out. The second parcel that we're creating with the subdivision, we're proposing two family, 1-story buildings for a total of 4 units. This all complies with the hamlet zoning, doesn't require a special permit, which we've applied for as well. With this application, we're proposing to shift the existing driveway and expand it to accommodate the project, which we've been in touch with DOT, who's on board with this. The 2 buildings with the 4 units, we're proposing wells to provide water supply and on-site septic systems. That's really, an overview of what we're proposing.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so first thing we're going to do the FEAF part 2. Let's look that over.
Okay, so just to run through the FEAF part 2 quickly. Impact on land, we've indicated yes, and indicated a small impact for the fact that this action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases. We've indicated yes for impacts to surface water, as there are wetlands on the site. And maybe Rebecca should get into this one a little bit more, but the impact isn't to the wetlands, it's to the wetland buffer, which has already taken place for the test wells that the planning board permitted them to drill in the last iteration of this application. So technically there's no new wetland buffer stream. Impact to groundwater, we've indicated yes, as this will create new water supply wells. And indicated yes for a small impact because proposed action may allow or result in residential uses in areas without water and sewer services. Impact on flooding, we've indicated yes, and a small impact for the proposed action may result in or require modification of existing drainage patterns as there's site disturbance. We've indicated yes for impact on plants and animals, and indicated a small impact for the proposed action may result in a reduction or degradation of any habitat used by any threatened or endangered species as listed by New York State or the federal government. And everything else we've indicated no impact. Did the board have any comments?
No, I don't. Motion to accept the FEAF part 2.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now the FEAF part 3.
recommend that you adopt the EAF Part 3 and adopt the negative declaration of impact.
Motion to adopt FEAF Part 3. And the what?
Negative declaration of impact.
And the neg deck.
Make a motion.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. So that's for both of those. The FEAF Part 3 and the neg deck.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. If you want to sit down for a second. I'm gonna. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on the Billingsbrook LLC site plan and special use permit subdivision and wetlands permit? I'll ask again, is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on Billingsbrook LLC site plan and special use permit subdivision wetlands permit? Motion to close. Second?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Any comments from you guys on this one?
My comments for this application have been addressed.
Mr. Chair, my comments, there's some dotting some i's and crossing some t's and a couple of corrections that need to be made, but nothing substantive that impacts this. I think the only thing now that needs to move forward is Dutchess County Department of Health approval.
Do you have anything else? We're good? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next item on our agenda, Arlington Estate subdivision, application for a 3-lot subdivision of a 13.55 acre property located on Stringham Road, Knoxon Road, and Kincaid Lane in the residential flexible density RFD zoning district, grid number 6459-01-373992, owner Mid Hudson Development, licensed professional Dace Dagoza Engineering. Hello.
Engineering. We're tonight for a 3-lot subdivision. This project's been in front of the board for a couple of months, and we've gone through some of the planning comments that the board has given us, and also consultant comments. Proposing 3 new home sites on the property. We've had a discussion with the town engineer and highway department. We've discussed the driveway entrance locations. They've been approved. When we were out on site, there was an effort to make sure that any runoff from the driveways that are being proposed on the site were not put into the roadway. So we're developed some details to create some little spots before the driveways enter the town road system to try to make sure that water doesn't enter into the town roadway. We're showing concept, subject to further revision. We're placing easements around those areas too that we can show through maintained through the life of the project. We've had ecological solutions on site. They delineated the wetland that's in the middle of the parcel. We sent a JD request to the New York State DEC. The request came back that these are not state wetlands, so they don't have a 100-foot buffer associated with them. They did, however, mention that there could be a possibility of wetlands across the street, and the 100-foot buffer may or may not impact specifically lot 3, which is at the corner, the southwestern corner of the property. DEC is going to be on site on the 26th to verify that. Just looking at some of the site mapping, they wanted to put eyes on it, but they felt that it would not impact that lot. But we'll wait to see what they say on the 26th. We had a hit for archaeological on the
site, to engage Joe Diamond. He went ahead and provided a report. It's in process to be reviewed by New York State, so have a determination from New York State on that. So for those two reasons hanging out there, we're just here tonight to get public comment. The public hearing will obviously remain open until we have some answers from the DEC and New York State Office of Parks and Recreation. But again, here tonight to have public comments.
Okay.
So, we had hoped that we were gonna be able to close out secret parts, but we're not there. The public hearing was advertised, but because, court case that came out of the third department in around 2007 that is still remaining law is that a public hearing on a subdivision has to follow the issuance of a neg deck. So I think we're gonna have to re-advertise. All right, took that news well.
2026, you know? That's sort of the year, right?
Yes, well, because we advertised in case anybody came out, we didn't want to, just not hold it because that would cause some confusion. So we're gonna proceed with the hearing tonight, close it, but we're essentially gonna go through the subdivisions again.
So open it, leave it open, or close it?
Open it and close
then
it.
reopen? Okay.
You're
Okay.
gonna do a new hearing, new advertisement.
Okay. If you want to, thank you. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on the Arlington Estates subdivision?
Glenn Wilson, 12 Acre Road.
Oh,
sorry.
wait one
Make
second.
the motion.
Motion to open a public hearing.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I apologize.
No problem. Glenn Wilson, 12 Exeter Road. This subdivision would be basically behind my house on the other side of Kinkeith Lane. I submitted, we submitted just a letter of some of the different neighbors' concerns. I'll be honest with you, not many of them knew that this was going on, except all the neighbors that were, we all got a certified letter. The other neighbors didn't have. So my main concern, of course, with the Lagrange Public Estates is flooding. We've always had an issue with flooding throughout the years, groundwater and hydrostatic water coming up, all our basements flood. 2 inches of rain, you can pretty much guarantee that people will be pumping their basements out. With this, the way it looks, that lot is all trees. And if you remove a good number of those trees, we're going to lose that as, you can see, really consider it like a natural pump, basically pulling some of that groundwater out. So my concern is not only runoff into the neighborhood, but also the removal of substantial amount of trees, which is going to, right now, maybe we flood or we get water in 2 inches of rain or 3 inches of rain, 4 inches of rain, some people. If they start to remove vast amounts of trees, is that going to go down to 2 inches, an inch of rain, 2 inches of rain, where that hydrostatic water is going to come up and come into our basements? I would personally like them to do a study to make sure that if they do remove a substantial amount of trees, that what the impact is going to be on the neighborhood that's going to be below them. Also, maybe, I'm also worried that even if the board does decide to tell them, look, remove the minimum amount of trees as possible, just to build. The new homeowners come in, they do what they want. They start mowing trees down, make the yard bigger or whatever, and again, we're in the same boat. So a possible easement or something to say, these buffers, you can't remove these trees, would be great. I don't know if that's possible, I don't know if you guys do that, but I mean, it's something that we've dealt with this. I've been there 26 years, and we've been dealing with flooding for 26 years. No matter what we do, I mean, the town has done a great job with the storm drains and things over the years and improved them, and we've gotten much better as far as like the surface water. Nothing helps the groundwater, the hydrostatic water that comes up. So, like I said, my main concern is a removal of those trees and the vegetation and trees is gonna create, a catastrophe for us, that now an inch or 2 inches of rain, and we're pumping, and what happens when we get to 4 is even gonna be, you know, the amount coming in greater. So that's my concern.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Anyone else from the public who would like to comment on Arlington Estates subdivision? Let me ask one more time. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on Arlington Estates subdivision? Motion to close the public hearing. Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. This one, you guys have any comments?
The letter that was given will all be addressed. Okay.
Brian has a copy of it as well.
Okay.
There was no new submission for this application, so John and I don't have any new comment on this. I think, the question at this point, a new public hearing will need to take place. If the board wanted to schedule that tonight, Brian, I don't know if you have any indication of when you would be receiving responses from both RHP and when you have a determination from the DEC.
I have a determination, JD, it states nothing's on site, it's just the confirmation of no 100-foot buffer across the street. We're supposed to be on site for 26, there's nothing, providing we don't get foot of snow, because they're sensitive to snow cover. So, OPRHP has been submitted, have a project ID number. Typically haven't had too long of a wait from them, once it's in the system, but I think if we shoot for February, I think we could have, I may not have them by the submission date, I could have them before the meeting.
So I think we'd like to avoid advertising again and having the public come out, so I think we need to,
Wait and see what's submitted.
Yeah.
I think we need to see the submissions and,
yeah.
because other than that, you're gonna put the people out and you're throwing good money after bad, re-advertising.
Fair enough. March.
Very good. Any other questions?
And I'll still get you guys a resubmission addressing that.
Right, and if we could get a copy of the phase 1A and B, I know you sent a letter from Joe Biden saying that it had been done, but we didn't actually receive a copy of it.
Yep.
And a copy of the JD.
So we want to set the date for the meeting in March?
Let's wait and
Okay.
see what's submitted in February.
We
and
can do
then
that
at
in
the
February.
meeting.
Yeah, just a,
You've got plenty of time to do it.
yeah,
Got it.
placeholder in my mind.
All right, we're all good on that one?
Okay.
All right. Next item on our agenda is DBS remodel site plan, proposed addition, 370 square feet addition, located at 103 Overlook Road in the Manchester Gateway Hamlet, MGH zoning district 6261-04-756458. Owner Brian Altman, licensed professional, Dace DeCosa Engineering. Hello again.
Well, again. So this is an existing site on Overlook. DBS is a construction company, they do remodeling. They have an existing garage in the back, a nice red barn style garage, and they have an existing garage toward the easterly side of the property line. And the site's access via asphalt driveway, there's parking in between the two buildings. What the applicant would like to do is convert the existing garage that's along the existing property line into office space, heated space. If there's any kind of team meetings or anything, that they could use that office space in a climate controlled environment and install a bathroom in that existing building. And that bathroom would be encased in an addition that would be going north. So here is that existing building here, and here's the proposed addition that would have a bathroom. As we kind of work toward the back of our site, he wanted to put a detached structure to house any kind of equipment that it may use on site as far as maintaining the lawn, the site itself. And then here is the existing garage in the back, and just doing an addition off the back, for some additional storage space and equipment, putting equipment under cover. And with the likelihood of trying to access that garage, we would extend the pavement slightly, and have some access toward each side of the addition structure. Other than that, we've met on site with the town engineer, discussed the protection of utilities, because when we do this extension in the back there with the driveway, we will be crossing over existing water and sewer. So we're putting details together to show how we do that. But we're here tonight just to grab public comment, if there is any, on this small addition to the existing site.
Okay, motion to open the public hearing. Second? Aye. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on the DBS remodel site plan? I'll ask again, is there anyone from the anyone from the public who would like to comment on the DBS remodel site plan? Motion to close public hearing. Second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Public hearing is closed. Okay, let's see here.
So all of my comments have been satisfied at this point. John, did you have additional comments?
I have comments, but as Brian indicated, most of them we've worked out, and I think they're mostly dotting i's and crossing t's at this point. We did meet out at the site. We had some concerns, you may recall, about the access to those bins. Those bins are not actually what you think they are. One of them contains a dumpster that they put excess material in. One is kind of stores site material that appears to be left over from jobs. Might be gravel, might be sand, might be whatever. And then the third one is it looks like they use it for recycled metals. They wait till it gets filled. So our concern was what was happening if they had cars parked in the parking lot and getting to those bins. That's not likely to occur. The access to those bins can be controlled and wouldn't occur when you're heavily using that parking lot. Drainage, it's just gonna follow existing patterns. They're not adding that much impervious. And the last thing is, I still question the garage door size. They put a small homeowner-sized garage door, but they show pickup trucks and other things using the door. The next size up is not that difficult or expensive, and it does give them a little more flexibility. So they might want to put a little bigger doors on the drive-through, since it is now a drive-through. But other than that, all my comments are relatively easy to address, and they don't have any substantive impact on the site.
So I have drafted a resolution of conditional approval for tonight. Did anything discussed prohibit that moving forward?
No, I would recommend that you consider that resolution.
And you'll notice that one of the conditions is to address all outstanding comments in John's letter.
What was the response to the garage door concern?
I prefer to Brian, I haven't got one yet.
What's that?
I haven't got one yet.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah, to access it, we could probably do it a little bit larger garage.
Okay, that's fine.
Everyone had a chance to look at this? Motion to grant conditional site plan approval.
Motion.
Per the resolution written. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions on that one? You're good?
I'm good, I think I got the next one.
Okay. Next item on our agenda, Arthur'sburg Heights Site Plan Special Use Permit, Ridgeline Wetlands Disturbance. Application to construct a single-family home in the Ridgeline Overlay District located on Beaver Road in the residential low-density RLD zoning district containing 5.28 acres. Grid number 6559-02-778661. Application Mid-Hudson Development Corporation. Licensed professional based Dakota.
Oh, yeah. right, this project has a little bit of history to it. It was approved back in early 2000s. It had a single-family house. It had some drainage improvements. It actually had the house and the septic kind of located over in here. There was some existing ravines here. The drainage was supposed to pick it up and kind of bring it around to allow the driveway to kind of swing through here. The lot was owned by a previous builder, and a portion of that site improvement occurred over the course of many years, with material being brought in and trying to create what was approved. The material that was brought in was a mixed bag of crushed rock, stone, concrete, and I think during COVID it was sold to a new buyer, and the new buyer went in and discovered that there's a little bit more than meets the eye here. So what was asked of the applicant was, you're gonna have to come in here and you're gonna have to clean it up, and we're gonna have to make it right and pull some of that material out and see what state that material is in. When we were retained looking at the project, we first wanted to make sure that this lot is a viable lot. So we started with the Board of Health, and we wanted to make sure that with existing home sites that are around here and the known improvement that has to happen along this corridor, we met with the Board of Health. We did on-site soils investigations. We did secure a Board of Health approval. So in our planning, we tried to move our improvements away from the ditch line here, away from town buffers, locate the house here with the septic here. So we did get that approved. Next step is talking back to the planning board and getting our various permits to allow us to come in to the site and obviously get the home site approved, but more importantly, clean up some of the debris that was installed to create that earlier grading plan. So we met on site with the town engineer. We've come up with, I believe, a pretty good plan on how we attack getting that material out of that ravine and restoring its condition. We've come up with a mitigation plan for plantings once that material has been removed. We're doing a small site improvement with a driveway. So currently there's a little driveway apron here that exists. We're going to use that as part of the mitigation to pull that material out, that concrete and rock debris. And then once that's completed, we talk to the highway department, the new driveway location, it's better sight distance if we move it up the hill a little bit, and then we kind of come in here. So we would, obviously remove that driveway apron, and then mitigate any drainage coming down here along Beaver Road, a small swale along the side that's riprap to kind of slow velocity down before it enters a culvert that comes under the road. So basically, we're here tonight to give public comment on this application to get it to the point where we have final approval and we can begin mitigation on site.
Okay, motion to open the public hearing. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on the Arlington Heights Site Plan Special Use Permit Ridgeline Wetlands Disturbance? Sure, come on up. You can come.
Good evening, Peter Turlow, 100 Memory Trail. I just having trouble picturing where on Beaver Road this is.
So if you come up from 82 all the way up to the stop sign.
Where it takes a 90?
Yeah, where there's an intersection?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way up to the top of the hill. Take a left at the stop sign, and then not very far, there's actually a culvert under the road right there, and it's right there on the right.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Sure, come on up.
How you doing, board? So my name is John Selka. I actually live at 36 Beaver Road, which is the adjacent property. I'm a little confused as to how this will affect my home, because we do have water issues. I had to have my well hydrocracked. Also, the material that they brought in, it was, to my knowledge, just dumping old concrete. I actually went and talked to the guy and said that he had approval to dump his cement, like the broken up cement on the side there.
Right.
I just wanna know how this is gonna affect my property, how it's gonna affect my, well. And also there's that ravine right there, how is that gonna get affected? Am I gonna get something, is something gonna affect my property because of that?
Where are you in relation to this?
I'm literally right next door, like I'm 36.
Looking-
So if I'm looking,
Yep,
You're here?
I'm to the left.
On this side.
you're on this side.
So you know where the stop sign is, you make that left, there's the
Yes.
house with the big lines. I'm the next house to the right, going up Beaver Road, and then it's that property.
So you're
So you're
uphill.
on this side right here.
Yes.
Here's Beaver Road.
Yep.
So you're here.
I'll be honest, I'm not good.
What's the address?
I'm looking at
36.
parcel access and she's on the right
Yeah.
side.
On
So
the
the ravine is right
Yeah.
here, so that's.
Okay. You're on the right side.
You're right or left of the ravine?
So this is to your left.
I'm to the right of the.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make.
Yeah, no, like I said, I just wanna make sure that it's, I've lived there for 30 years. I've been there since 1995.
Yeah, I've been on the site. You've been on the site, Paul, were you there?
No.
Were you on,
No,
were you guys on site?
No, Dennis was.
I was not.
No. Steve, were you there?
No.
So, I think I've walked this 2 or 3 times, and that concrete is all coming out.
Okay.
So, everything you've said will be addressed.
Okay. Okay.
You know, we open this to the public, it's,
No, like I said, I just wanna make sure, like I said, cause I don't know how them, you know, I know that like the wetlands and movement, like I'm not
Yes.
familiar with all this stuff. So I just wanna make sure, like, listen, I have no problem with their, cause I remember years ago, they probably came to you guys, cause they were trying to get it approved for 2 houses.
right.
And they got denied. So then they got approved for 1, I remember the board, it was like a board of health approved, and then they had the septic put it in the little, whatever, the driveway, whatever, and then they sold the property. Cause I actually considered purchasing it, cause it was right next door, I thought it was too expensive. So somebody had bought it, and again, I had spoken to her, and she was like, oh my God, like, we didn't realize how bad the, you know, moving all the, you know, cause of all the water runoff, that they're gonna have to, how much work they're gonna have to do to make that. And I was like, okay, you just made my decision, I'm not gonna buy it. So, like I said, I just wanna make sure it doesn't affect my property next door.
Very good.
All right?
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Anyone else from the public who would like to comment on Arthur'sburg Heights site plan, special use permit, ridgeline wetlands disturbance? I'll ask again, anyone from the public want to comment on Arthur'sburg Heights site plan, special use permit, ridgeline wetlands disturbance? Motion to close. Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public hearing is closed. So, John, you were on site.
Yes.
Yeah. He's still here, right? Yeah.
So
So,
the short answer is, the work that Brian is proposing is gonna open that swale up. It's going to facilitate the drainage down there. We've dealt with the highway superintendent, so since he's on the right side of the swale, basically it's improving conditions upstream of him, so he's gonna be in a better position. The well is closer to the left-hand side property line, so I don't think there's gonna be any impact there. But the most important thing is, I know everybody says, well, it's just concrete. The way it's been piled, the way it's been placed, and you've all been out there, we don't know that it's just concrete. And so, one of the things, just belt and suspenders, that Brian incorporated into his, mitigation plan, is once we get down to, existing soils, virgin soils, we're gonna do some soil testing as may be required to make sure that there were no contaminants brought into the site to protect that extra layer of protection. So I think the net here is this will improve the overall runoff on this side of the road.
And we also put some wetland stuff that we were putting,
Yeah,
natural
yeah.
grass.
Brian has a
kind of
very
restored.
detailed wetland restoration plan. So yeah, it's gonna be, this is going to be an improvement to what's there today, providing it gets built the way Brian has specified it. And just to reiterate, what this board is also contemplating, if and when you get to an approval, there's gonna be a requirement for a performance bond and a guarantee, a financial guarantee, so that it does carry, because the highway superintendent wanted that as well.
So you'll answer that in writing?
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments on this one? So, review of this,
Yeah, so I have prepared an EAF part 2 for your consideration tonight. I'll just run through those quickly. Impact on land, we have indicated yes, and indicated small impacts for the proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases. And the proposed action may result in increased erosion, whether from physical disturbance or vegetation removal. We've indicated yes to impacts on surface water. And a small impact to the proposed action may involve construction within or adjoining a freshwater or tidal wetland, or in the bed or banks of any other water body. Additionally, in that section, the proposed action may cause soil erosion or otherwise create a source of stormwater discharge that may lead to siltation or other degradation of receiving water bodies. We've indicated yes to impact on groundwater and indicated a small impact, or the proposed action may require new water supply wells or create additional demand on supplies from existing water supply wells. And the proposed action may allow or result in residential uses in areas without water and sewer services. We've indicated yes to impact on plants and animals. We've indicated a small impact, as the proposed action may result in a reduction or degradation of any habitat used by any rare, threatened, or endangered species as listed by New York State or federal government, and that would be for the Indian bat. We've indicated yes for impact on aesthetic resources, and we've indicated a small impact for the proposed action may be visible from any officially designated federal, state, or local scenic aesthetic resource, and that is due to the ridgeline protection overlay zone. That is all of the sections that we've indicated in impact. Did you have any comments or corrections that you wanted to make?
I'm okay. You guys have any comments, corrections? Motion to adopt the FEAF Part 2.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then just lastly, I would just recommend that the board direct the applicant to prepare the AF Part 3 narrative.
You got that?
Do we need to email Heather tomorrow?
She is already, is notified.
Okay.
You need to email Heather.
She did say hi.
Okay.
All right, I think we're done.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda, regular business. Gray subdivision, 6-lot subdivision located on Titusville Heights Road in the residential flexible density RFD zoning district, 16.33 acres, grid number 6260-02-718721, owner Karabai Incorporated, licensed professional Lawrence J. Podgy. Hello.
Good evening. Christian Podgy, engineer for the applicant.
You want to go first?
I'll let John go first.
All right, John.
I do have a comment memo that you may have gotten. This was a rather substantial submittal that Mr. Podgy made. The first portion of this deals with there's a series of easements, a road dedication, and a few other things. He did submit written descriptions, and I compared those written descriptions in the plat. There's some work that needs to be done to bring things into compliance. They also made a fully detailed, final submission, if you will. There's some some additional work that needs to be done to the SWIP, because they've got a written SWIP, then they've got a stormwater management report, and then they've got plans that constitute the SWIP. And they all gotta kind of work together, and there's some, they don't yet. The other thing is, the site disturbance here exceeds 5 acres. So they're not requesting a waiver. They propose to maintain the site disturbance under 5 acres. That would be our preference as well. The trouble is, it's not clear what needs to be completed before they move to the second phase. So there's some things that need to be done there. They are proposing street trees, and they're proposing street trees 50 foot on center, and they're proposing them outside the right of way, which is the town requirement. And they're proposing red maple and sugar maple. That's probably a determination that you folks need to make. Are they reasonable species, and are they spaced accordingly? We're working with Mr. Paggi on a bond, because there is going to be a bond posted for the road, and there are specific requirements and conditions related there too. There's a whole series of overlapping legal instruments that are going to be required. The planning board attorney has kindly provided her form of those documents. They're being worked on right now, I believe, by counsel for the applicant. They were provided with Word documents to make it easy, so we're working through that. There will need to be a stormwater maintenance district formed, and we're waiting for, they also have a shell of a draft petition, and once they get that, you're gonna have to make a referral to the town board to see if the town board's interested in moving that down. There's a couple notes that we need to work through, and the last time there was a concern about the maximum slope across the cul-de-sac. Mr. Paggi addressed that to my satisfaction, and I'm recommending that that be accepted and approved as part of this subdivision. Other than that, and they do have, from the Board of Health, they have a letter which says, hey, we're substantively done. Give us your Mylar and your final paper copies and we'll sign off. So they essentially have Board of Health as far as the Board of Health will go without you folks completing your process. So, having said that, I'll turn it over to Megan.
I'm just gonna jump in quickly for one of your comments regarding the trees. Red maples and sugar maples are both listed in your previously approved list of street trees at 50 foot offset. Unless you have any specific objection to that, that should be fine.
It's okay with me. You okay?
Great. I have prepared a resolution of conditional final approval, which is before you. We did make one change after these were printed this afternoon, which would be, the second, be it further resolved on page 2. We have revised the language to state, be it further resolved that the planning board recommends that the town board accept the performance bond amount estimate once found to be appropriate by the town engineer, unless lack of agreement requires return to the board.
Any other comments? You're okay with it? You okay? So on this one, we do what, as amended? Okay. Motion to grant final subdivision approval as amended. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Very good.
Appreciate
Okay.
it. Good night.
Thank you too. Thank you. Next item on our agenda, 6 Deckard Boulevard, special use permit, application for an accessory apartment to be located in an existing accessory structure located at 6 Deckard Boulevard in the residential flexible density RFD zoning district, 1.06 acres, grid number 6459-02-94963, applicant Jamie Hogan, licensed professional, Wayland Architecture. Hello.
Good evening. This is Wayland Architect representing the owners at 6 Deckard. Just to recap, our proposal is to renovate an existing detached garage for a new accessory dwelling unit. I think the only comment that we received in the prior meeting is one of the adjacent neighbor. He was requesting some landscaping just to screen this project from his property, and it's my understanding that the owners met with that neighbor and a couple of the board members.
Yes.
Came to an agreement about
Martin and I.
putting in some landscaping, and I think that's the only change since our prior meeting.
Okay. Who wants to go?
John and I don't review accessory
Okay.
apartments, but Sandy has prepared a resolution of conditional and final approval for you. If you feel that the resolution reached at your site visit, it will benefit.
Yeah, that day it was pouring rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nasty night.
My husband said sorry, he threw his back out, so. I'm here.
Oh, that's fine. Do you have any comments on it? Okay. Motion to, let me see here.
So we're putting up screening.
Yeah, he agreed.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
That's fine.
My mother-in-law likes it, so
Yeah, it seems like you're
Everybody's
going upstairs to your neighbor's pool and their back door.
Is it a fence or is it vegetation or?
I think we're gonna do landscaping.
Okay. Is there any requirement on what that is?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's at the discretion of the board.
We can propose like arborvitae, something that's not gonna like lose its leaves
Yeah,
at this time of the
evergreen
year,
source, yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
But it was agreed upon between the two of you. Okay.
There is a previously approved list of buffer plantings posted on the planning board's website. Maybe it would be appropriate for you to determine that the landscaping needs to come off of that list.
So make this conditional to the planting of the hedgerow.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a number of plantings in mind?
Well, there was
Existence.
existing hedgerow, and he's gonna just extend it.
I remember seeing the pictures.
Was there existing hedgerow? I remember existing hedgerow.
It was by the side of the garage, to the right of the garage.
The burning bushes on the
Yeah,
other side?
on this side, yeah.
Yeah.
They had the red fire bushes on the side of the garage.
Okay.
He was thinking of running them up. Are they on our approved list?
I'm sorry?
The red fire bushes? Burning bush?
No, unless they're called something else.
Burning bush?
Eastern arborvitae are, you mentioned arborvitae, right? Balsam fir, white fir, Fraser fir, blueberry, American holly, mountain juniper, skyrocky, mountain juniper, eastern red cedar, white spruce, black hill spruce, eastern arborvitae, whole shrub eastern arborvitae, emerald eastern arborvitae, and Texan eastern arborvitae.
A lot of those sound like coniferous, that they're not gonna lose their leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
The arborvitae
Probably
like an arborvitae.
And the deer will eat.
You don't want to take up.
Some are more deer
Arborvitae.
That's, yeah, we'll find like the happy medium that's deer resistant also on that list.
Yeah. Well, then, what's deer resistant? When you plant them, fence them for a while, till they mature, I guess.
I'm reading my colleague right now, so they do anything, so if they're hot.
You see the lollipop trees.
On this chart that you have, there is a category for deer resistance,
Oh.
and it looks like arborvitaes are listed as frequently severely damaged. The spruces are listed as seldom severely damaged. American holly is severely damaged, and the firs are listed as occasionally severely damaged.
I will say the deer are killing my holly right now. One of them.
We'll find something.
We'll
You'll
yeah,
find something.
We'll find something, we'll get it on the drawing and.
We'll find something.
Yep.
So, did the planning board, I'm sorry, just to make sure that we're want the landscape area to fall just to the end of the accessory apartment, like back here? Did you want it to extend?
I think the idea was on the right hand side
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
The neighbor's pool is between the back building and the, right?
Kind of where the word dwelling is, it's like over there, if I remember right.
Yeah,
It's like up, it's on the right hand side.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can also include a picture, because I mean, we'll resubmit the drawing.
Yeah.
And then insert like a picture in there, and then I can superimpose the plantings on there. So we'll see what it looks like, and there'll be a count on there as well.
Yep. And then be nice to your neighbor, no runoff on his property.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll continue to let him use the driveway to pump his septic tank.
So regarding the condition that you would add, a suggestion would be sometimes we use more minor conditions. Instead of having the applicant return to the planning board, you could say provide landscaping to the satisfaction of the planner, something like that. Then I'll review that, and if needed, reach out to the planner.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so, let's see here. Motion to grant approval of the special use permit with the condition of the planting of the hedgerow. Anything else?
I would say, planting of a hedgerow with species from the planning board's previously approved list to the satisfaction of the planner.
Okay. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Great, thank
Very
you.
good.
Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Chair, I'll jump on to the next one. There is nothing that I am involved with
Oh, yeah.
on the agenda following this. I'm going to bid you all good night.
Okay,
Thank
very
you very
good.
much.
Have a good night. Thank you, John.
Get home safe, all.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Take care.
Next item on our agenda, Bailey Farm subdivision and SWIP. Proposed project located at Knox Road, Titus Road, in the Bailey Farms Plan Development, DFPD zoning district, 129.01 acres, grid number 6360-03-0992220. Applicant Bailey Farms Properties LLC, licensed professional CPL. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Andy Leonard, CPO.
Okay, you wanna go?
Sure. We received responses to the public comments from last meeting. We also received updated tree clearing plan with some notes on it. And then we've started talking about whether you're gonna authorize a resolution for approval for the next meeting. So if you wanted to start with talking about, if you have any questions or comments on the responses to the public comments, that might be a good place.
Okay. Anybody on the board wanna start? Anything? So I learned that the traffic light is actually owned by the gym, the old gym. Very rarely.
Actually owned by the gym.
Yes.
It's confirmed by the county. Interesting.
That is very interesting.
I remember when that came.
On the
I
record.
remember when that all came out.
After 10 years. After 10 years, it like can be dedicated to the public entity, and it could still happen, but I've had a conversation recently today with the county that it's still privately owned.
Yeah, so I built that whole intersection and that traffic light. So, and I've done many of them in my 42 years. And, it's very rarely that it's privately owned. So.
It was initially because it only really served old needs, and, you know, the question was like, has it become more of a public use, and if that's the case, the county could take it over potentially, but they haven't as of yet.
Okay. And then, yeah, I read all the responses. There is no connection to the side road. there'll be no retaining wall built on the private property.
Correct.
I didn't have anything else. The concern of getting on and off Knoxon Road from, that side street is not really your problem. You know, it was a concern brought by the public. And then the widening of Titusville Road, you know, initially it'll be done, and then as the project goes on, potentially it could be extended.
Well, I think the comment from the county was that as the project's built out to a certain extent, I gotta look back and see, about halfway, I think, they said that a study should be done to see if the function of the light may need to be modified.
Right.
Timing and things like that, I would think.
Let me think what else.
How does that work when the light's privately owned?
I think the DPW could make that happen because it's still permitted in their right of way. But that's a good question. I think they still have the control over it because it goes over the county road right of way.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We have to.
So this,
Go ahead.
the question was raised about getting started under construction. And we're gonna postpone the approval for the architectural plans, Mike Cross and West Stories.
No, that's
Mike
true.
Jones, that was the big
So
question.
we had a, discussion, applicant, or consultants to consultants, and what we discussed was this is likely gonna be an overall site plan approval, and then they'll come back for each phase. So it's not truly a condition in the sense that they're gonna be coming back for each phase for the site.
So the way we saw it coming, the conditions of approval for subdivision, wetlands, and site plan would initially have a site plan approval with it for the overall project. But the individual townhouse approvals with the architecture would need to be looked at for each individual phase the townhouses land in. And then that way, the subdivision could move forward with site plan approval, but the specific site plan approval with the architecture would still get another look at the plan.
One of the reasons that that decision was made is that the PDD section of the code really doesn't talk about subdivision, or it only talks about site plan approval. So in order to satisfy certain things, they need a site plan approval. At the time it was drafted, I don't think it really contemplated the zero lot line that the project has developed to.
This, tree clearing, can you put that up on there?
I think it's that one, but then.
One of the red outlines?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Oh, that's strange when I download it.
I know, it's not showing up on this, I don't know.
Verizon, maybe?
I'm afraid it's gonna go way back. I'll go back here.
Want to email it to somebody, please? Is that possible?
I have it in OneDrive. Is it in
I have it in OneDrive.
Yeah, I downloaded, so it should be there.
Is it the December 29th submission?
Yes.
Tree clearing?
Yeah.
question about accessing town water or sewer through the one development? Or am I thinking?
So water for the project is gonna come from two locations, one from Titusville.
Yep.
And the other is from Simone.
Okay. Yeah. That was some of the comments made at the hearing.
Right.
With concern to water pressure, I believe.
Yeah, the town way back when requested that that water get looped through the site to make sure that was accommodated for.
Okay. So we're good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Health department looked at that
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, as we mentioned, there's some improvements in the Manchester Water District that are under review by the DEC, which are expecting to get, it was noticed to the public, the beginning of January. And that comment period is only 15 days, so the comment period is tough. We're just waiting, for the DEC to finalize that permit approval.
Okay.
Just to make sure I'm clear, the updates to the water treatment will be done through part of this process.
It's actually a town project. There was a district, a map plan report prepared it serves, it benefits the town, the project, but overall it benefits the whole district, so it's a overall district improvement.
But I believe the project paid into it to contribute for their part of the
Okay,
volume to the improvements.
Thank you. Because I know the public was curious about all that, so thank you for clarifying.
So the next thing you wanna talk about is to approve the tree clearing?
Yep.
Yeah, so this map doesn't show it, but we did submit, Tom had some comments, on the tree clearing. We added some notes to kind of clarify what was gonna be allowed and permitted for during the tree clearing process. We did that and we resubmitted late, sorry. But we wanted to get it done before this meeting, so I'm not sure if Tom had a chance to look at it yet, but, I hope we got most of everything.
Yeah, I saw the new comments and it pretty thoroughly addressed what we had. One of the things we mentioned was that we wanted to make it clear on the plans how the trees were being cut, whether it was somebody with a chainsaw, somebody with a pocket knife, or some kind of heavy equipment and lots of noise, so.
Disturbance, big machines.
And so the heavy equipment, mechanized equipment is most likely to disturb the ground a little bit, so the DEC would require a speedies permit be in place for that. Which could happen here, their SWIP is ready to be approved, and that I don't see a reason that permit couldn't be pulled. So their notes kind of incorporated that possibility. And then the other thing in our comment was that we typically recommend a restoration plan, that should everything happen, all the trees cut down and then nothing further happens, there's money set aside to clean up whatever mess it is and maybe seed the ground if there was disturbance made, so that it wouldn't be left a mess forever.
So you're looking tonight to have us approve the tree clearing with conditions of
the notes that they added to the new plans.
Right.
That we can spell out for you, or we can take right off the new plans. I don't know we have to write those conditions out if we refer to the latest submission of the plans.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Other than that the plans don't reference the bond, or the restoration bond.
So let's talk about that.
Yep.
So Tom's recommendation was an amount of $7,500.
Right.
Which I believe the applicant is agreeable to. I already have forms for that. It is the custom and practice in Lagrange that the planning board gives its okay to the recommended amount for the bond, and because the town board will ultimately accept it at the time the performance bond is submitted to them, because they're the keeper of the purse. But my experience has always been they like to know that the planning board is supportive of the amount.
Right.
So I would also ask that if you're agreeable with both the current action of the tree clearing, that you also indicate your agreement to the recommended $7,500.
$7,500 enough for restoration.
We're talking some seeding and some cleaning up of trees and to some extent. I don't think we're gonna plant new trees. I don't think there's a lot to do necessarily, and there's not a huge area necessarily getting disturbed.
How many acres?
About 9.
But they're just cutting the trees, no pulling stumps, no land disturbance.
Correct. We commented, we suggested that they should stack
They
the
have to-
trees and make a neat pile of stuff, but that would require the mechanized equipment. So
These
that's
trees
what I-
have to be cut by March 31st or they're not getting cut.
Correct, they'd have to wait a year until after October 30th.
Right.
The goal is to get them on the ground.
Right. So, we'll do a motion conditional on,
The performance guarantees.
right. Everyone okay with that?
Yes, the restoration guarantees.
Yeah.
The 7,500 seat flight.
Yeah, that's my feeling.
That's your
That's the town feels.
And you can, we can talk further about it. If you feel more is more comfortable for you, you're the one's recommendation to the town board. I wouldn't disagree with more, but I'm hopeful that it'd be a simple thing to restore the disturbances and there wouldn't be a huge mess made. But
You're not planting trees or replanting trees, and that's where most of the cost is in trees.
Does this include the access to this area in red?
Yeah, so, red is where the trees are to be removed. There's no trees,
Mostly field.
mostly open
Yeah,
field all the way up to
field.
this, where my cursor is here.
Okay.
And although it says trees, I don't think there's many big
Yeah,
trees in that area.
small stuff.
It's a lot of brush.
Pretty much
Yeah.
across the streams.
I wouldn't anticipate that you can take the trees out. Again, I would just say the restoration would include, if the pile isn't neat, stack the trees back up in a pile and make it neat. And whatever limbs and brushes, like what we asked for is to have it chipped and piled on site. But if it needed to be chipped and piled on site, that could be done with the vine as well.
I would say very little of this is visible.
Also, I'll keep in mind that they're nearing towards potential final approval where there's gonna be additional bonding requirements at that time, so this is only one piece of the puzzle.
I'm not concerned about the visual, just a matter of safety and functionality of, progressing. You don't want to look like a war zone with guys coming down. I don't know what happened down the road behind M&T, but it's something similar where they wanted to take the trees down.
Mhm.
But that, some type of order to it, so you can navigate through there. It doesn't look like just was napalm.
Yeah, and some of the notes they put on were not to pocketed access roads, like there were some notes added beyond what my comments were, which I think were good notes.
Okay.
In terms of that, like not blocking the
That,
access roads.
that one, we allowed them to cut them, but zero disturbance.
Okay, so it was different.
Yeah.
And that's still something you could consider.
Yeah.
And that say no mechanized equipment and no ground disturbance. I mean, the mechanized equipment isn't intended to make ground disturbance, but it sure would make the clearing go more smooth, I would think.
Yeah, I'm not sure that.
And allow them to pile up the trees, is what I would like to see.
No, you need the
Counterproductive.
equipment.
We need the mechanized equipment.
Right.
If you're piling the trees, are we piling the trees and then moving in at a later date if needed? Or are we trying to get them out of any development or construction zone? Or we just
Well, I think the plan would be not to leave them where they're in the way. Right, so, the goal would be to, our first goal would be to construct the road.
Yep.
To the extent practical. So we would wanna get them, we would try not to have them in the way, right? And we need to have an access to get in and out to remove the trees, so we would preferably leave them to one side or the other of the access.
Do you have you said there's not a lot of trees. Do you have an idea how many we're talking about?
I don't really, I was gonna ask.
100, 200?
We don't have a tree survey, so it's hard for me to say exactly how many trees are.
And they can be removed off-site, right? There's
They
no
can.
issue, they can be logged out and just,
Yes.
okay.
We do that when we're trying to make as little disturbance as possible.
Come on up, if you want, so we
Keep
can.
my mouth shut.
Sorry.
Come on up so we can get you on the record.
Stephen Maker, the idea is to make as little disturbance as possible. And so that's why we're just gonna cut them, stack them, and leave them, and then once we have the condition final approval, we file the notice of intent, and we start the site development, we'll carve them out of there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just,
All right, so we'll do a motion to grant the tree clearing with the conditions on the plan.
For the notes on the plans, yeah?
Per the notes on the plan, with the $7,500 bond recommendation going to the town board.
Correct, on a form acceptable to the planning board attorney.
Right. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then, I have written here, move forward with draft resolution.
Yeah, if the planning board wants us to do this, we just kinda wanted to hear from them, get that told to us, cause it's gonna be some good work for us to put that together and make sure all the, everything's covered by it.
Right. Everyone okay with that? That's the next step.
Yeah.
And then if we were able to bring that to the next meeting for you, you could potentially vote on it at the next meeting.
All right, so we need a motion for that to move forward, or just,
Motion for that?
just a verbal?
I don't think you've traditionally done a mo, you've just indicated that you're okay with the consultants working towards that.
Okay, we're okay with you beginning that.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? You have
Not
anything
for
else?
us, that's all we were looking for tonight, thank you.
Okay,
We're good?
all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Next item on our agenda, time extension, Rolling Meadows subdivision. This application received conditional final approval of the phase layout on July 18, 2024, and was granted a 90-day extension of this approval on January 16, 2025, which expired April 18th of 2025, and a 90-day extension on April 17th, 2025 would have expired on July 18, 2025. The planning board granted a 6-month reapproval of conditional final approval on July 17, 2025, which will expire on January 18, 2026. The applicant is requesting one 90-day extension of this approval. Hello.
Good evening. Status report. The next thing that's going to happen is the stormwater.
For those of them who don't know you, just let
Oh, my name is Yolanda Johnson. I have been the engineer for this project forever and ever and ever.
And ever.
And I'm currently working for CT Mail Associates. I have the logo on my little vest here. Dan couldn't be here tonight. We are very close to getting the planning board chairman's signature on these drawings.
I've
Right.
heard that for a year now.
Well, because legal stuff and survey stuff, it's all lots of T's and I's. Right now, the petition for the stormwater district and the petition for the sanitary sewer district, the town attorney is finalizing it so that it can go in front of the town board. They need to schedule a public hearing in order to create those two districts. I think the bonds have been agreed upon, the things that need to get filed, easements and everything have been worked through. Greg Bolner did a review on all the survey descriptions, which was something that we asked for when there was a change in who was doing what, and that's all happened. So it's legal, I think it might either go in front of the town board in January or February. My latest email, I was checking tonight to see if they made it onto the town board agenda or not. I can't quite tell. So the attorneys are cooperating in a speedy manner, right? As fast as they can. So, yeah, we're almost there.
Any questions? Questions? Go ahead. I know you have.
No, it just seems like there's extension after extension after extension.
So explain why there's extension after extension after extension. Things like.
It just seems like.
It's a big project.
Right.
This is just phase one. It took a while to nail down exactly how the overall phasing was gonna go. Phase one was clear, but how was 2, 3, 4, and 5 gonna happen? So that took a little bit. There was a slight hiatus in 2025 when we needed permission from the town board for the previous engineer to continue reviewing the project because he was familiar with it, but that wasn't automatic. That needed to be considered and approved. He kind of had to be hired to work on a couple of projects, even though he was no longer the engineer for the planning board. And the legal phase involves dedications of multiple roads, multiple easements, snow easements, sanitary sewer easements, water line easements. There's a huge water line that's going to go through this project that's going to link the two town major water districts and enable a kind of backup plan for water for the town. So that resulted in a special offer from the town for a reduced bond to help make that happen. That had to be agreed upon. So it's big. It's a big, complicated project, and all the pieces need to be done right.
I believe it, I'm just, we're making,
Yeah, it's
chipping
incremental.
away.
For a while, the DOT was the holdup.
Yes. I remember you got the.
Health department has never been the holdup. We had that very early. Right now, we're doing the legal bit, because once you get those districts in place, then it changes the tax basis for all those lots. You haven't built on or sold yet, right? So that gets done at the very end. So that's what's being done now.
Okay.
Yeah?
Chipping away, that's all, I just.
Chipping away.
Any questions? There's nothing for us to go over other than just the conversation. Okay.
Yeah, and if they're not, done at the 90 days, they'll be back in for another reapproval, but we're gonna keep our fingers and toes crossed that we get there.
Okay, all good.
Well, and there's a change of attorneys happening, because I think our attorney is trying to retire. I think Jerry Comatose was talking about.
Jerry is, I think, finishing up the petitions, but, Andy Gilchrist is no longer, I think Nick Ward-Willis is coming in for your
Nick
client.
Ward-Willis is coming in, yeah. And I don't know whether Jerry was talking about, hey, I want to get it done before I retire or something.
Everybody's retiring but me.
Well, you're spry and young. I'm the one with the walking stick. I'm okay, I just have balance issues. I don't want to fall in the middle of your meeting, so.
We don't want that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Right.
So the action for you to consider tonight would be to grant one additional 90-day extension of approval.
Okay.
Motion to grant a second 6-month
I'll make the
extension.
motion.
Or no?
90 days.
90 days.
That's
Yeah, 6 months.
What's that?
completely wrong.
This?
Yes,
Cross this right off.
cross it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
I apologize.
So it's a second 90 day.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. That's right, I make mistakes. I make mistakes too, it's fine. Motion to grant a second 90-day preliminary approval for the subdivision.
That whole thing is.
Oh, this whole thing,
Preliminary is also.
now wait a minute, this is,
Absolutely wrong. It's just a
90
90-day.
days, 90 day extension. Just say 90 day extension.
no, this,
Of final.
that one there, I think you threw in there to.
You were
Wow.
so close.
That one was, okay.
She was interrupted by a phone call.
Alright, take
Yes,
place.
yeah, okay, motion to grant 90-day extension.
Make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you all. Good night.
Good night. So on our pre-meeting last week, the lumberyard was taken off?
Yes.
Okay.
I did have a call with, the liable to the applicant today, and she understands that she needs to submit for reapproval and not an extension of approval. So they intend to submit that in time for February.
Okay. It was for a 1-year extension of the, right?
So Page Lumberyard came in for site plan subdivision and special use permit. They that, and then due to bonding issues, they weren't able to complete the work within the 2 years required, I believe. So they came in for an extension of that approval, which this board granted last year in February, which gives you an additional 1 year, but that's the extent of extensions that you can have. So now the applicant will need to come in for a reapproval. However, in the code, it's a very truncated process wherein basically they're going to submit a narrative to you that explains why they couldn't meet the deadlines. You know, if any outside agency approvals are still outstanding, if any outside agency requirements have changed, if any site, if they've changed anything on the site and what work has been completed in between them and now, and basically just their justification as to why they feel the board should grant them.
This is a lot by overlook.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's what, okay.
Yeah, that whole piece has to come out, a huge retention pond has to be built. There's a bond that has to be posted, the bond's pretty big. Probably one of the biggest bonds we've ever seen posted. So, there's a lot to that one. I just, it was on the pre-meeting agenda, so I just wanted to know why.
Yes, it was because they applied for an extension and they need a reapproval.
Okay. All right, everybody okay?
Doing great, Chairman.
You're all good? Okay, motion to close.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. What is it, 8:43? 8:41. Wow.
Good job, everybody.
So before you guys go, I just have one thing. We can turn the lights off. Yeah.
No official business. I can just introduce myself. I'm the MJ Engineering. I met with W today and Sandra, and I just did that to introduce myself. My name is David Thomas, and I'm an engineer.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, yes.
Sure, you can come right in if you like. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yes.